Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Witted, and we're going to be talking about head and hypothermia or hyperthermia. So, head refers to basically looking at what is the brain doing, right? If we had some sort of major injury to the head, it's a possibility that that could actually cause the patient to die very quickly. So, we want to see if the patient has any kind of injuries to their head or to their face that might give us an idea that the reason why we're seeing this patient right now is because of their brain. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong here. You have hypoglycemia, so low blood sugar, hyperglycemia. You could have hemorrhaging in the head. Maybe it's a stroke, something along those lines. Hypoxia, where they're not getting enough oxygen to their tissues or to their brain. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with the head. And honestly, if it is a head injury, you're going to want to do a GCS on them. And then you're going to want to continuously assess that GCS kind of as you go along, right? Because head injuries are likely going to get worse before they get better, right? As the brain swells, it's stuck inside of a container and it can't really go anywhere. So eventually it's going to swell so much, it's just going to push up against the sides of the skull. And then you have to talk about decompressive craniectomies and stuff like that, or craniotomies, or burr holes, whatever you want to do, right? And the other thing that we need to talk about is hypothermia, so too cold, or hyperthermia, where they're too hot. And really, either of those, right? You can put water bottles on them in their under their shoulders or down in their crotch for cooling them off really, really quickly, or put cold fluids into them to cool them down very quickly. The other thing that you can do for hypothermia is just warm them back up. And typically, it's not the hyperthermia that you have to worry about. It's actually the hypothermia. It could be 110 degrees outside. If that patient has lost enough blood, likelihood is they're still cold. And one of the things that you have to do during the March algorithm is take all their clothes off. So now they're all naked, right? That can't feel very good. So whenever you expose them during the initial part of the March protocol, that could cause some problems later on. So if you cut their clothes away, or if you were assessing them completely, you're going to want to cover them back up again, right? And make sure that they are nice and safe and warm, right? So listen to your patient, talk to your patient, make sure that they are getting everything that they need. If they're shivering, I don't care if it's 110 degrees outside, put some clothes on top of them, right? Put a blanket on top of them, whatever you have available to you. Make sure you take care of that, because that is part of the lethal triad of death. And we'll talk about the triad of death in one of these videos later on. But that is head and hypothermia, hyperthermia, and that is the last part of the March protocol before we end up in the pause portion. So we go from March, massive hemorrhage, airway, respirations, circulation, head and hypothermia, to pause, which is pain control, antibiotics, wounds, and splinting. And we will get on with that in the next video. Thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all watching, and I will catch you in the next one.